Alright, quick video on how to decode and actually recode luggage locks or luggage style locks. This is a really common design. This is a lock that came on a suitcase I bought when I was a teenager. I'm 32 now. That I bought when I was a teenager to go on a trip. It's some no-name, cheap Chinese model lock or something, I don't know. This is a brand new master lock. They're functionally identical. It's a really old, common design. Obviously, case changes notwithstanding, they're slightly different, but brand new master lock. 16-year-old, crap. Threw it in free with the suitcase I bought. Luggage lock. These are really easy to break into. Not that anybody would ever need to to actually open a lock to get into your luggage. There are easier ways to do it that are less time consuming and less obvious that somebody's been into your stuff. But more commonly is I didn't know the code for this. When you buy it, you set the code. You put in the code, you hold and I'll show you how to do it once it's open. Because I forget what I set these codes to earlier, because I wanted to mess them up for the demo. But you set the code and then you forget it, right? I don't know about you, but I don't travel all that often. I needed this lock when I was 16, and I don't think I needed it again. Ever, really. I don't think I've ever used this lock again. I use this one occasionally, but I think I really used this lock one time. That's just to give you some idea of, the reason why you might need to get into one of these. It's very easy to set one of these pins and then forget all about it. I'll show you how to open them up. It's really easy, and it's all based on kind of a common flaw with locks. Whenever you're lock picking or cracking something, you're generally exploiting a lack of refinement when it comes to the manufacturing process, right? Precision costs money. And when you're turning out something like a cheap luggage lock, well, cheap is the operative phrase. You want it to be a very cheap luggage lock. So you don't get a whole lot of fit and finish. So in a perfect world, all of these little gaps would be non-existent. You see how there's wiggle and there's play in here. There's wiggle in all of these. You can see down in here a lot better. I'll actually show it to you up close on this one because it's easier to see, although it's actually quite easy to see on this one too with the naked eye, but I don't know if I can get my camera to focus down in there. But that's how lock picking works. Even when you see people picking a door with the lock picks, what they're exploiting is tolerances in the manufacturing process. Simply because it costs a lot of money to make things precise enough to the point where things like that don't work. And then even if you do spend the money to make them that precise, there's always going to be a little bit of play because you can't have zero tolerance mechanical parts. Everything would bind up on you. We'll jump right in. It's actually really easy. In this one, it's pretty bad. The gap is actually fairly large because I think, like I said, this was a super cheapo one, and this is a more modern cheapo one. But if you look in this gap, kind of right here, like right where this little razor blade is, in that little gap, and you spin this, you can actually see a little divot, or not a divot, but like a slot cut into the wheel. The wheel, the cylindrical wheel, has a smaller cylinder coming down off of it, and you can see that there is a slot in that wheel. Okay, and I'll see if I can get it up close for you. There we go. So you see that little slot between the 4 and the 5 on the top on the left? You see how it moves with the lock? Okay, that's what we're looking for right there. We're going to do that to all of these. And what you're going to do is you're going to move it until you know the position it's in. So in this case it's on the 4 right now, but the slot is basically one click up. And I'm going to do that for all of these. I'm going to try and do it so you can see it. I'm probably really loud right now because I'm talking right into my microphone. Oh, there it was. So you see the little, just barely see it in there. So now that one's lined up with the 4, you know, or with the previous little slot down inside. We'll do this one. And there's the one on the 3rd. Okay, so now we have this code 479. Well, that's not our code. But this same code combination, I'll sit back down so I'm not screaming into the camera. Okay, sorry, I had to refocus. So this code 479, you know, this isn't our code, but it puts the wheels in the right position. So one of these sequences around here is our code, and it's however many it takes to get that groove to the, you know, to the appropriate, you know, slot here. So just literally twist all of them by 1. Try it. Twist them again. Try it. And in this case, it took, you know, 2 you know, twists there for a code of 257. If you wanted to reset at this point, you turn it to the left, squeeze it in, and then spin it to whatever your desired combo is. Say I wanted 557, and now the combo is 557. Works exactly the same for this one. You know, the gap's a little smaller in here, but you can still see it with your, you know, naked eye. I can go ahead and do this one really quick. It's a little bit harder to see, but it's still doable. So here we have a code 279. Nothing. 057. And open. This one resets the exact same way. Twist to the left. Spin it. It's now reset. Now this one's 257, like this one. Now they're both 257. So it's nice to have them all, you know, all of your luggage locks have the same combo just for convenience sake. So these kind of locks are, you know, nice because they are resettable. If somebody gets the combo, you can change it. Like, clearly I'm not going to have what 257 is my combo now that I've put it on YouTube. And I don't think the fact that these are easily cracked is kind of the worst thing in the world. I don't think anybody legitimately trying to get into your luggage is going to sit here decoding these. I mean, even if it only, you know, takes, you know, 10-15 seconds or so, the truth of the matter is you can get into most luggage with a ballpoint pen or a decent knife a hell of a lot easier than sitting there, you know, messing around with the lock. You know, most of the time you end up putting these through the zipper anyway, and the zipper's the weak point, not the lock. You know, don't worry too much about your lock. You know, locks are trying to keep honest people honest. You know, ultimately, if somebody wants into your stuff, this isn't how they're going to get there. So don't feel like you can't use these. I just wanted to kind of, you know, highlight some of the vulnerabilities in them, and, you know, provide just a handy tip in case you, like me, often forget your you know, your combos because you just don't use these locks that frequently. Well, thanks again, and you know, I'll try and bring you more security videos soon.